With a broad understanding of the type of social media analytics available to us, for example likes, reach, people or views, we move towards how we use these insights to create useful social media campaigns. We've previously mentioned that certain messages will work more efficiently with different types of audiences at particular times in the day. But there are many other ways we can use this data to tell us how to roll out social campaigns. Let's look at an example of some recent de-identified social media research. The graphic that you're looking at, while being very pretty, is pretty much useless if you don't understand how to read it, let alone produce it. This is from some research I conducted to attempt to understand who was conversing and about what for a scripted television comedy program, 7 Days Later, that was produced by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. The idea of 7 Days Later was to co-create the next episode of the program with direct audience involvement across social media platforms within 7 days. I harvested the Twitter conversation for 6 weeks of production and followed the 7 Days Later Twitter handle in an attempt to understand who was talking with whom and what they were talking about. As you can see, there are colour, size and space differences. The graphic was produced using the open source program Gephi, which is a social network analysis tool. I used a combination of different algorithms to tell me certain things about the conversation. Things to note are the more important users and topics are located towards the center of the graph. The larger nodes are more connected users or topics within the network, and the different colors represent different online communities. So even knowing how to read this network graph at a basic level immediately indicates there are very influential users located near the center of the graph. This was due to their relationship with the production crew, or because they're highly active in contributing, or maybe they had very creative ideas. For a full analysis, my article in the readings for this module describes all of the outcomes in detail. From a social media producer perspective, these highly connected and influential users are the people who are most useful to communicate with. For example, to use the brand's Twitter account just to randomly comment has very little impact on a social conversation. It will have very minimal reach, and it's likely to not attract much interaction in the way of responses, shares, and contributions. However, if the same message is targeted at one of the highly influential users, who is likely to engage with the conversation regardless, then the potential for your effort to reach a much wider audience is exponentially improved. You're now talking to the networks of your network participant, which may be millions of users. So in this regard, it's important to remember a few things. 1. Have an informed sense of how to start your social media campaign. Who are you talking with? What will you say? When will you say it? 2. Monitor the conversation by engaging with the social media metrics. Which posts attract the most interaction? At what times? What type of content is more appealing to your audience? 3. Analyze and indeed visualize your networks. Identify who the network influencers are in your network and strategically target conversation with those people. 4. Reinforce these organic conversational techniques using social media with paid advertising to maximize your audience exposure and engagement levels.